The night my 3 daughters hired a stranger to pretend to be their father. I almost ran across the room to stop them, because I couldn't survive another man looking at me with pity. My ex, Marcus, walked out when our triplets were 6 months old. 10 years later, he showed up at our daughter's wedding expecting to walk her down the aisle. He didn't, and the look on his face when he realized why, that's something I'll never forget. If you've ever been abandoned, underestimated, or made to feel like you were too much, this story is for you. Like this video, subscribe, and let me tell you how 3 little girls rewrote my life and gave a man named Marcus the regret he earned. Marcus left on a Tuesday. I remember because Tuesdays were grocery day. There were coupons spread across the kitchen table. 3 baby bottles drying beside the sink. Harper was crying in her swing. Grace had a diaper rash. Violet refused to nap. Marcus stood in the doorway, holding his car, keys like they were a lifeline. "I can't do this," he said. I laughed at first, because what did that even mean? You can't do what? They're your daughters. This life, he snapped. 3 babies? No sleep? No freedom? This isn't what I signed up for. That sentence burned itself into my brain. Not what I signed up for. Like fatherhood was a gym membership he could cancel. He walked out with a duffel bag. And just like that, I was a single mother of 3 infants. The first year alone felt like drowning with weights tied to my ankles. I worked hospital shifts during the day, cried in supply closets when I couldn't afford formula, fell asleep sitting upright because if I laid down, I might not wake up when they cried. Marcus didn't send money, didn't call, didn't ask about milestones. First steps, first words, first birthday, silence. But my girls, they were magic. Harper, bold and protective. Grace, logical and observant. Violet, soft but fiercely emotional. They grew up watching me fight for everything. And I thought I was hiding how lonely I was. I wasn't. 6 years later, we were at a wedding. I wore a red dress I bought on clearance after picking up overtime shifts. I told myself I looked confident, but I stood alone by the bar while couples laughed around me. That smile women wear when they don't want sympathy, that was me. Then I noticed my daughters whispering. They were staring at a man sitting alone at table 17. He had a cup of tea in front of him, untouched. He looked like grief had built a house in his chest. Before I could stop them, they marched over. Panic shot through me. I started walking toward them, ready to apologize to yet another stranger. But then I saw something unexpected. He bent down to their level, really listened, and smiled. Not politely, genuinely. I slowed down, just for a second. I hoped. Later, I found out what they asked him. "Will you pretend to be our dad for tonight?" When they confessed weeks later, I almost fainted. But that night, I didn't know. All I knew was the stranger stood when I approached. "They weren't bothering me," he said gently. "Actually, I was hoping to introduce myself." His name was Ethan. He'd lost his wife 3 years earlier. Heart attack, age 35. When he said it, I saw it, that hollow space grief leaves behind. We weren't flirting. We were recognizing each other. 2 broken people in a room full of couples. My daughters forced us to dance. I hadn't been held by a man since Marcus left. And the last time I trusted someone, he chose himself over us. But Ethan didn't pull me close like he owned me. He kept space, respect, safety. "I know what it's like to brace for disappointment," he said quietly. That sentence hit me in the ribs. Because that's what I did every day. Brace. For bills. For heartbreak. For being too much. For not being enough. For 4 songs. I wasn't the single mom. I was just a woman dancing. And my daughters watched like they had just executed a military operation. Coffee turned into more coffee. More coffee turned into dinner. Dinner turned into Sunday park visits. Ethan didn't just show up for me. He showed up for them. School plays, science projects, nightmares at 2 a.m. He never hesitated. And then one night after a brutal hospital shift where we lost a child, I broke in the parking lot. I expected advice. Instead, he just held me. No fixing. No, it'll be okay. Just presence. That's when I knew. This wasn't pretend anymore. 10 years passed. Ethan legally adopted the girls. They called him Dad. Not because we forced it, because they chose it. Then, one afternoon, Marcus showed up, standing on my porch in an expensive suit. I heard Harper's getting married. He said, I deserve to walk her down the aisle. Deserve. That word. I felt something cold settle in my chest. Before I could respond, Harper stepped forward. Calm, confident. You're not walking me anywhere. Marcus blinked. I'm your father. She didn't hesitate. A father stays. Grace crossed her arms. So does Violet. Ethan stood behind them, silent, steady. Marcus looked at him like he was the intruder, but even he could see it. The way the girls leaned slightly toward Ethan, the way their shoulders squared protectively. He wasn't the outsider. Marcus was. Marcus came anyway, sat in the back row, alone. When it was time to walk Harper down the aisle, she took Ethan's arm. The room stood. Marcus half rose from his seat, like maybe he could object, like maybe blood gave him ownership. But then he looked around, at the love, at the years he missed, at the man who showed up when he didn't, and he slowly sat back down. When the officiant asked, "Who gives this bride away?" Harper smiled. "My dad does." Ethan squeezed her hand. Marcus lowered his head. That was the revenge. Not screaming. Not public humiliation. Just truth. He wasn't needed. He wasn't wanted. He wasn't missed. Later that night, Marcus cornered me. "You turned them against me." I almost laughed. "No," I said softly. "You left. They just noticed." He looked around the reception hall at the family he could have had. And, for the first time, he understood. We weren't too much. He was too weak. The most powerful revenge isn't destruction. It's replacement. It's building something so full of love that the person who walked away realizes they were never the prize. Marcus thought we were baggage. Turns out, we were the blessing. If this story moved you, hit like, comment below. What's the most satisfying karma you've ever witnessed? And subscribe for more emotionally powerful Reddit revenge stories, because sometimes the sweetest revenge is living well